Welcome back. We'll continue looking at the nation of Israel and who is occupying the nation of the land of Israel. Are they the true Israelites, or who are they? So we are going to continue reading from the book which our brother Ronnie has written. It's quite a good book, and I'll be slotting in some few things as the Lord gives me the ability. My brother, you continue reading.
So this would imply that some of Yahusha's, Jesus in brackets, followers, were not followers of the Pharisees, called Jews in brackets, but instead were Gentile people from other lands. In both cases, they were considered proselytes. However, little is known that the Jews of today are the descendants of the Khazar, Gentile, Japhetic proselytes who follow the teachings of the Pharisees and thus are called Jews.
So they are descendants of Khazars, and the Khazars are from Japhites. They are Japhites, and if they are Japhites, with what I've said from the book of Genesis, they are Gentiles. So it is that the Holy Land right now is being occupied by Gentiles. In the agreement to the scripture which I gave you in the beginning, that the Holy Land shall be trodden by the Gentiles until the fullness of the time of the Gentiles is fully fulfilled. So that is the scripture. Continue, my brother.
These are some quotes about the Khazars from the people living in their time period. Number one, there exist people under the sky in regions where Christians can be found, whose name is Gog and Magog, and who are Huns. Among them is one called the Gazari in brackets, who was circumcised and observed Judaism in its entirety.
So you can see these guys, they are circumcised, and they also follow the customs of Judean customs to its entirety. So which means they're able to mimic the true traditions of the Israelites. They're able to mimic. But you know one thing, everything is learning. They just have to learn. They have to learn, and they have to learn. Like for us in Africa here, where we are, the Bantu, the Zambians Bantu, who are here, we don't learn. We do not learn the Old Testament customs. We live them. And we haven't been living them because we read the Bible. No. We have been living these customs before the Bible was brought in. So the Bible, we have to compare with the Bible to our customs. Even in the language itself just agrees. We'll look at that later on. But with these Khazars, they've got to learn. They've got to learn our language. Hebrew is our language. So you can see that the Khazars took over and they had to do the learning, and they are Gog and Magog. And this is historically. This what is reading here is history. It is not from the Bible. It is history of that time. Okay, you may continue. You may just step that one and reread that one.
Okay, I'll do it again. There exist people under the sky in regions where Christians can be found, whose name is Gog and Magog, and who are Huns. Among them is one called the Gazari, in brackets, Gazari, who was circumcised and observed Judaism in its entirety. Westphalian monk, Christian Druthima of Aquitania in Exposito in Evangelism, Mattei, 864 AD.
That's a quotation, actually.
Point number 2. The Khazars and their kings are all Jews. The Bulgars and all their neighbors are subject to him. They treat him with worshipful obedience. Some of the opinion that Gog and Magog are the Khazars. Arab traveler Ibn Fadiam, 922 AD.
Okay, continue.
The Khazars were a diabolical, ruthless pagan nation in Eastern Europe who was involved with phallic pennies in brackets worship, their symbol before even converting to Judaism was the six-pointed satanic hexagram. This hexagram has been linked to the occult, witchcraft, and satanism.
When you look at that, and then you talk about the penance as one of their type of worship, phallic type of worship. This worship has continued, even adopted at one of the big mother churches in the world, the biggest mother church. There is a building, I won't mention the names, there is a big building in a certain city. That building has got a place, a center ground, which has got a pointed something like a stick or a flag standing up straight, and then with a big door which no human being can reach. It's quite big. So people do not relate, you cannot understand the meaning of that opening and that stick which is standing in the other side. But when it has got the measurements, so when the sun is the other side, then the shadow of this pin, sorry to say the word, the male organ or penis, this organ, the shadow of this, as the sun goes down, then the shadow will be drawing in and enter into that building. It's the same worship with this. And you can see it is coming from Gog and Magog. Yet the people do not get to know and understand what is happening out there. You need to know all these things, and they are all coming from the children of Japheth. You may continue.
Khazarian seal coin found around 8th to 9th century AD. There is a picture here on my left. There is
as you can see here, there is a picture of hexagram. This hexagram, this is a Kazakh note, coin, and another one there. And all these are hexagram, the star type. All of them, these are coins of that day. And these coins of that day are the same coins which have been adopted as a sign of our brothers living in Israel. The Star of David. It was adopted from pagan. This is all coming from pagan, as you see the reading. So it wasn't adopted from the Old Testament, from the Bible. It is coming from pagan worship. They came with their own pagan gods, and they came with those pagan gods and brought them into Israel. And it became part of the worship. So you must get to know that. If Israelites were to maybe think of anything which can be symbolic to the ancient Israel, I believe the 7 lampstands could be that. That's one of the ways, because that's the way you can get into the presence of God. But not really of the stars. The star issue is the issue of pagan worship. You may continue.
I continue.
Yeah.
Khazarian seal coin found around the 18th and 9th century AD. Right in brackets is another coin found in Khazarian land dating back to 838 AD. It has inscriptions writing saying Ad al-Khaza, or land of the Khazars, and also Musa Rasul Allah, which means in Arabic Moses the messenger of God.
So you can see the Khazars, they're talking about Khazars, and the many issues they are talking about Khazars. These are Jews. Now, how can you be a Jew, then your notes are having Khazar? Khazar, they become Khazar, land of the Khazars, when you are Jews. There is a discrepancy there. You cannot be smart in everything if you are cheating. So, you join us in a moment. God bless you. You join us in a moment. We'll be with you. Just now, we just take a break.